Hey guys, Desolate Magic here, and sorry this is a bit late, but obviously I've been working on another project, and if you saw the gigantic video that took all day to film and edit on my fourth channel, yeah. But we're jumping into this, like, first of all, the Eternal Wanderer. There you go. It appears to be a rare instead of a mythic for some reason. Well, there's 10 Planeswalkers, so if there's 15 mythics, I could see why they would drop them. So that in itself is interesting, but about this leak. Just about everywhere from the whole set is leaked in this set. I don't think WotC was behind this, obviously. I think at this point, the less we know about this garbage set, the better. This is going to be the worst set in the entire history of Standard. By far, hands down, nothing even comes close. There's one that I saw in here, and I haven't seen the rest of these at all. I purposely did not look at them, but one was brought to my attention that is so far beyond unacceptable, words can't even describe it. Now we've just moved on to, okay, this is going to ruin Standard. Cool, they already kind of ruined it over the last 2 or 3 years. And it appears there's no going back, which is why in 2023 they are obviously going to change how Standard works. But instead of, wow, this is going to break Standard, wow, how could they do this? Like, okay, we get it, let's just like move on from that. I'm going to point out the really egregious ones, but otherwise this is just going to be evaluated on a card for card level of like good design, bad design, good for the formats that they're relevant in, which is basically Commander at this point. And even then, it's like good play pattern, bad play pattern, not, oh, this is too powerful for Commander. Well, it depends who you play with and where. Remember, Commander is self-policed by your play group, not WotC. So with that quick setup, let's jump into it with the Eternal Wanderer. It's a 6-cost rare Planeswalker, 5 loyalty, and it looks like it says no more than one creature can attack the Eternal Wanderer each combat. That is ridiculously defensive, but it's a 6-drop with 5 loyalty, so yeah, it probably should have an ability like that. At least it doesn't say, like, can attack in general, because that would just shut down entire decks. And very few decks have a way of directly taking out a Planeswalker. You basically got a kill spell or red damage. I guess you could say flyers, but, like, this would suppress them too. So it's almost too defensible. Let's see. It's a +1. Exile up to 1 target artifact or creature. Return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of that player's next end step. Okay, so I mean, you could get rid of it for their whole next turn on your turn, and then at their end step, they get it back. That's kind of neat. Now this is fully removed, not phased out. So you're losing counters, you're losing auras, you're unequipping equipment. So that's interesting. You're gonna say up to too, so you can just do nothing. +1, do nothing. Otherwise they got 0, create a 2/2 white samurai creature token with double strike. Nice. And -4, which you could do right after you drop her in. Jeez, okay. For each player, choose a creature that player controls. Each player sacrifices all creatures they control not chosen this way. Oh. So that's the old cheese stands alone effect. Kind of. Look it up. They made it into a real card. I think it's Dune Blast. So this is wild. I will say one spoiler that I'm not covering is somebody made this whole big Reddit post explaining how, like, this is card number 11, but then in alphabetical order, then that means that this, and then we've already seen this, which means this. It basically leads to who's getting completed and who's not. Yeah, so if you want to go look that up, look it up. I'm not going to cover it in here because that's like a story or lore spoiler. So, next up, Conduit of Worlds. It's a 4-cost double green artifact. You may play lands from your graveyard, which, if we had heavier landfall, would be completely and utterly broken because Evolving Wilds can just go off over and over and over. That was actually a big problem pre-rotation. They had that one card that would do it, and as soon as it drops in, it would just wreck the whole game. So I guess they're flirting with that again for some reason. And then you can tap it, choose target non-land permanent card in your graveyard. If you haven't cast a spell this turn, you may cast that card. If you do, you can't cast additional spells this turn. Ooh. Activate only as a sorcery, too. Okay. This seems interesting, well-balanced, and actually like I want to do something with this, which is the best impression you can have from a well-designed card. I think it's appropriately powered, appropriately costed, yeah. So next up, Phyrexian Arena. Oh, good, as we learned in the other spoilers, and there are going to be some story spoilers on these cards, by the way. Jace appears to eventually get Phyrexified. Now this is interesting because the flavor text is, for a bittersweet moment, Jace believed he could still save his love. Oh, that's right, call back to Ixalan. A moment was all Vraska needed. For the glory of Phyrexia, she whispered. Story spotlight card. Well, I'd say they stole from G.I. Joe, but I believe Hasbro owns G.I. Joe? Anyway, it's a 3-cost double black enchantment, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you draw a card and lose 1 life. Yep, that's Phyrexian Arena. Next up, Dragonwing Glider. It's a 5-cost double red artifact equipment, and it has For Mirrodin! Exclamation mark, which means when this equipment enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 red rebel creature token, then attach this to it. Okay, that's just like Germ, but upgraded, so that's cool. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has flying and haste, and then it's equipped 5. This looks like overcosted common slot draft filler. How the hell is this a rare? This is not a good card. I do not understand this. I assume additional context is needed, so let's just move on. Next up, we got Copperline Gorge, and it enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or fewer lands. I don't remember if these are check lands or double check lands, early lands or whatever. Nobody agrees on it anyway. But yeah, that is from Scars of Mirrodin, so it makes sense. It's a reprint. It's not terrifically expensive. It was in like a couple other sets, but you know, hey, the more the merrier. The cheaper the lands get, the more we can all afford to just build the basic framework of the deck and then actually have some creativity past that without breaking the bank. Stop putting highly needed cards in the rare slot, Watsy. How about that? Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. So a bunch of the rest are in there. I'm not going to cover them, but next up we got Migla's Maze Crusher. It's a 4/4 for 3, red-green, legendary creature Phyrexian Beast, and Migla's Maze Crusher enters battlefield with 5 oil counters on it. Oh boy! Pay 1, remove an oil counter. It gains Vigilance and Menace until end of turn. Ooh, that's vicious. 2, pay 2, remove 2 oil counters from him, and it gets +2/+2 till end of turn. Or pay 3 and remove 3. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. So he's a nice utility guy, real big, good in combat, but you kind of don't want to swing with him because he's not that big. But then you got like the utility of him, you don't want to lose him. But then again, it's a 4/4 for 3. So early game, just, you know, start hitting him. And late game, use him to mess with your opponents and still keep getting through. This is going to be a darn good card. At least in standard, which nobody will play. I know, I'm already mixing up the review. So next up, the Seed Core. It's a colorless land, rare, and it's a land sphere. I guess it's not all will be one, it's all will be round. So taps for colorless, or you can tap it, add 1 mana of any color, spend this only to cast Phyrexian creature spells, totally broken, stupid, and overpowered, and just commander bait garbage. And then it also has Corrupted. Tap, and then target 1/1 creature gets +2/+1 until end of turn. Activate only if an opponent has 3 or more poison counters. So what this pile of trash seems to be suggesting is that the poison Phyrexian decks, or at least one archetype of them, because it looks like they're 5 color, or they're in all 5 colors, not a 5 color deck, are going to use 1/1s. Great. So poison counters are one of the most hated things in all of Magic. They brought them back, and they brought them back worse than they've ever been. So nobody's going to play the game after this. The end. Simple. There's nothing else to that. There's no, well, maybe, no. Well, maybe nothing. If you're about to say that, shut up, you're wrong. Next up, Argentum Masticore. Not Manticore, Masticore, which is just fancy Latin for chewer. Or it's a Manticore Mastiff hybrid. It actually looks like a man. Now I don't know what this is. Oh, wait, I get it. I figured it out. Watsy just doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. Okay. So it's a 5-cost artifact creature, Phyrexian Masticore. First strike, protection from multicolored, because of course, and at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice this card unless you discard a card. Ooh. When you discard a card this way, destroy target non-land permanent and opponent controls with mana value less than or equal to the mana value of the discarded card. Jeez, I mean, Phyrexian Obliterator is in this set, so from a power level, this is like a 2 relative to that. And it's out of 100, it's not even out of 10, this is a 2 out of 100. Where 100 out of 100 is the frickin' Phyrexian Obliterator. But yeah, recurring removal on a stick, but that you're like kind of gambling with when it's only like technically a first strike pro color 5/5 for 5. Yeah, it's got upsides and downsides, and it's powerful, and you can't sneak it in on turn 3 very easily. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but the one that is the worst is coming. Oh, this is it. It is the next one. I thought so. Okay. Venerated Rot Priest. I'm going to need to work my way into this. Maybe do some jumping jacks. Maybe like let the energy out before I even read this. But I already know what it does. You know what? I'm going to power through it. I'm a professional. Let's go. It's a 1 something, who the hell knows, probably 8, for 1, in green, creature Phyrexian Druid, toxic 1. Players dealt combat damage by this egregious piece of garbage, also get a poison counter. But wait! Whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a spell, target opponent gets a poison counter. Whether you can get through their defenses or not, whether you have a creature other than this or not, they still get an unavoidable poison counter. So one of those wonderful green hexproof indestructible, I believe also trample if I'm not mistaken, because why the hell not? Let's call it what it is, counterspell cards. Once you're running that so they can finally blow away your stupid toxic deck, literally and figuratively, you save your creature from getting blown up so that they can maybe play the game past turn 5. And what do they get? An unavoidable poison counter automatic that probably has no way of removing it. And you know what? All the top decks in the meta right now don't have a way of removing a poison counter, so I don't give a crap if there's a way to do it in this set. I don't care. This is absolute garbage. that not only is it like, well, maybe I won't be able to get through with my creatures and give them poison counters. Maybe they'll be able to turn it around. Maybe I'll run out of cards and I won't have enough, toxic creatures in play. No. Now all I need to do is just cast arbitrary spells on my creature. And last I checked, and this is how Infect works, not toxic, but still, if you boost a creature, that was just more Infect counters. And they had like Titanic Growth or whatever, or Gigantic Growth, one of the two, probably both, legal back the last time they tried this crap. So I don't think it quite works that way. I think Toxic Number is like the number they get or something, or that's the max. I don't know. I haven't seen it written out with reminder text on like a Toxic 3 yet, but I'm sure it's coming. I'm just so disinterested in this, I don't even want to look at it. It makes me sick. So, one drop with unavoidable poison counters in a Blitz archetype where you drop 1/1s and just swarm them. Let me just remind you of the other thing besides like glorified green counter spells. Force Fight cards. Yep. You cast a spell, you target one of your creatures, you target one of their creatures, they get a poison counter, you blow away their creature, then you swing, know that they have one less defender, they get more poison counters. Oh boy. And then once you get to 3 poison counters, some more crap happens apparently. Somebody at WotC must have convinced the entire playtesting design department, you know what? Screw Hasbro. Let's do as much damage to the game as possible, and this is it. Nobody wants this. They're going to have to fire those people, turn around, and ban every damn card from this set. They might as well just ban the whole set. Well, here's your $50 card, everybody, and I can't wait to see it banned from every single format, and probably quicker than that piece of garbage Planeswalker Oko, who is now banned from pretty much every format that he could possibly be legal in, and he can't cross the border between most European countries. So moving on, we got Zenith Chronicler. It's a 2-cost 3/1 colorless artifact creature Phyrexian Construct. So everybody has access to this. And whenever a player casts their first multicolor spell each turn, each other player draws a card. Each other player? You're implying that there's, oh, that's right. They don't design cards for standard anymore. This is just for Commander. They just put the little standard legal, it's actually the standard set thing, little symbol there just because. It's just tradition at this point. Doesn't mean anything. And finally, the last one before I just go watch the Packer game at the bar, Thrun Breaker of Silence. If this has something to do with poison counters, it might be Thrun Breaker of 35 years of sobriety, because I don't drink, but this set's getting me there. I'm thinking about it. I'm already at the same place as Airplane the movie where I'm like, I picked the wrong week to stop sniffing glue. Oh, it's a legendary troll. Huh, is it? Let me ask you a question, WotC. Let's just cut the crap. Is this whole set a legendary troll? Is your whole play design department just a legendary troll? Is this all a joke? Is this an early April Fool's Day joke? A little gag? You having a little fun with this one? Or are you just burning Hasbro's income to the ground? Because it's one of the two. I don't see a third option here. No human being is this stupid when it comes to designing Magic cards, and that goes triple if it's your job that you get paid to do. Okay, let's just jump into this crap. I gotta go drown my sorrows in chicken wings. All right, so 5-cost double green legendary creature troll shaman 5/5. This spell can't be countered. Trample, like that'll stop anything. 5 costs, you'll be dead by then from poison. Thrun Breaker of Silence can't be the target of non-green spells your opponents control or abilities from non-green sources your opponents control. So they're encouraging mirror matches. What even is this? What is this? What is the point? As long as it's your turn, Thrun is indestructible. You guys ever see that meme, Why Am I Exist? This is all the crap I can handle for now. This might have to be like a 3 to 5 parter here, but we'll see if I have editing time. After getting home late, I gotta work tomorrow. Thank God this isn't my full-time job anymore, covering this crap. I don't know, 14 minutes, I'll just leave it here. I'll just do the rest tomorrow. All right, so thanks for watching, everybody. I'm sure there's more absolute egregious garbage to come. But we've actually reached the end of cards I have seen and previewed ahead of time. That green one was the only one I've seen. So if you're watching from my reaction, you saw these ahead of time. Oh, I'm sure that mine still got a little gold left in it. So subscribe if you don't want to miss it. Thanks for watching. If you're optimistic about this set, please get help. And I'll see you guys next time.